On the boat, I had my hat, my glasses, my tube scarf, and I still got burnt to a crisp. Welcome to the Philippines. We are in a trike going around to the other side of this little point to get to the boat dock for our day tour of the islands. When you get here, it's got your regular port, various shops, but there's also a lot of fishing processing going on here. Different sized boats. We'll probably be on one about that size is my guess. And of course there are shops, and you can buy dried fish if you need some. Surprisingly, Melanie said she didn't need any. For our entertainment, this kid let his boat get away. Well, it wasn't on purpose, but he had to swim after it. It was kind of fun watching him. Luckily, he's a good swimmer. We finally get on the boat, we're heading out, and it's just raining the whole time. It's really bad. They said it's going to be a 45 minute trip. It takes well over an hour to get there, and we skipped Tangke Island because they said the weather was too rough. So on to the first stop. It's the probably most famous island. It's the Cabugao, Gamay, and is the most Instagrammable spot probably in the Philippines. You'll see in a second. The tour package is 1,000 pesos a person. It does 5 to 7 islands, and depending on weather, they may or may not do all of them. We are canceling a couple today, unfortunately, because the weather was rough. Luckily, when we got to the islands, the rain stopped for a while, so we were able to get all our pictures taken. Here's a behind-the-scenes look of everybody waiting in line to get that classic picture overlooking the island. You don't see this part normally, but it was a cool island. Not sure what the rocks stacked up are for, and nobody I asked knew what it was either. People just do it. In the Korean TV shows, they do it as they make a wish, and they put the rock on the stack. Not sure if that's what they do here. Back on the boat to the next island, Bantique Island. It's really more just a sandbar than anything else. When you go somewhere on the water, you really want to see it from the water. She tried to do a jump shot, but the water was not really cooperating. But you can see the water is a little rough, and we're kind of outrunning storms. It's a really cool little sandbar. So we had fun, but they are these kind of like cattle boat tours if you've ever done scuba diving. She said she's going to ride on the front for the rest of the trip, but eventually she sat back down. Every time I got on the boat, it would rain. We picked up this kid on the first island. He was selling ice candy, and since he sold out, he joined us and became a photographer. They said right before the lockdown, he made enough in tips, he bought himself a bicycle. And this is the breakdown of a jump shot. So I take multiple shots and see which one works. Back on the boat. It's always back on the boat. This looks like it would be a cool island with all the crevices. I think there's got to be a cave or something here, but they said caves are on another island. But this is Tangke. It's a tidal pool, so it comes and goes with the tide, so I'm not sure if we were there for high or low tide. Water's not very deep, so I'm assuming low tide, but it was neat. We actually had some time here to swim. They realized the weather was getting better, and since we skipped 2 of the stops already, we stayed here and swam for a while, which was fun. The one we skipped, another one was like, they called it Little Boracay. It was a small white beach area, and they said the weather was just too rough to get to it, so we skipped it and spent the time here. But they haven't let the alligators out yet. You're okay. And after swimming, everyone seemed to be leaving. I thought they were getting back on the boat. Turns out they're going cliff diving. So we got to watch them do some cliff diving. We could have gone cliff diving with them, but we chose not to. It does look like fun. And And this guy works on the boat. He went to a higher spot and did a fancy flip. But he comes out here every day. Oh yes, back on the boat. Coming into Gigantes South, we picked up some stowaways. Oh, these kids have a rough life, don't they? That really looks like fun. But the kid that joined us apparently lives here with the rest of them. This is Gigantes South. There's two large islands, Gigantes North and South. And we stopped here for lunch and finally to pay. It's 1,000 pesos each, and they haven't asked for any money yet. I guess if we don't pay, they just leave us here. I asked, they said they'd make me do dishes. They put on a heck of a lunch. Check this spread out. This is all included, so I'd say for 1,000 pesos each, this is well worth it. You get the boat tour, all the different islands, and a huge feast. There's the boat. They're loading up without me. I told them. Man, they've been saying, get on the boat, get off the boat, on the boat, off the boat. I'm done. They got food here. Bye-bye. See you later. Yeah, I didn't stay. I got back on the boat. You knew I was going to. And the 40-minute trip back that was an hour coming was an hour and a half going back. It was really rough, and he would have to like take the engine out of gear, let the big waves wash over us, and then go back into gear and make some more. And we're zigzagging around because it doesn't show on camera, but these waves are a lot bigger than that in person. Trust me. We had a really good time. I would like to come back, and it would be nice to maybe charter a boat. I don't know how much extra that would be, probably a lot, to do it on our own schedule, because these cattle boats are kind of quick. It's, you know, hurry, hurry, get your pictures. Now, as we're coming in, we made it, but here's a guy that didn't. You can see the outrigger sticking up. Apparently, he broke his boat in half, and he's sitting on it, riding down, just like Captain Jack Sparrow. They did pull it out of the water, but they said it's not repairable. Bummer. You can see it's a little choppy, but we had a good time. It's really fun. If you're in Boracay, it's a bit of a ways over. It's kind of the other, still north end of the island, but it's definitely worth a trip if you're in the area. These are some gorgeous islands, lovely beaches. The boat tour operators were really cool. The food was spectacular. But we got some weird pictures that took themselves, so we're not sure what happened there. And this is my new lock screen on my phone and my new wallpaper.
Enjoy your day in paradise.